Okay, so that's recording. We're going to do...
We're clapping like fools again.
I'm a damn fool!
Remember when we didn't have to clap? Now we're clapping again.
Okay, maybe we'll include this, we're not sure, but this will be like the preamble, but we're going to have an official start.
Well, you got to turn the music on, right?
Well,
Have you turned the music on yet?
Well, hold on.
That's our official start.
I know, but the way that because of this, it's going to be... All right, well, we'll try it. I don't know. I wonder if I can do that.
Because of...
What if I, put this, here? I think it should do it. Hold on. 3, 2... Oh, it worked.
Yeah, this isn't even the first time we've done that.
Yeah, but I kind of like how that setup goes. Do I look crazy? I can't see myself. Do I look crazy?
Like crazy,
Just like
the mental state.
Yeah.
Like how you have cords dangling from you, or
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
It's okay. Welcome to Mission Stories. This is a podcast where we talk about LDS Church-related things. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is sort of the main subject usually on a show like this. It's called
News.
What?
That's news to me.
What?
I thought we were a Star Wars podcast.
Oh, that's right. Mission. Sorry, I'm talking about the wrong Mission Stories. This is also a Star Wars podcast.
That often talks about things relating to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
A church wherein we were both...
The kingdom of God on earth.
Raised. We were both raised and reared, in fact, in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Would you say that's accurate?
Factual, yes.
And this is a podcast, and we have been doing this for 3-ish years. 4? 18, 19, 20, 21. I guess we would just count 19, 20, so 3 years.
Feels like most of my adult life.
Yeah, and it's...
or it's when we started this podcast is when I entered adulthood for real.
You became a man when we started this podcast officially.
See, a man has a podcast. A boy does not.
A boy plays with toys, but this is not a toy. I don't point to this.
This is a replica
yeah.
of an important fictional character.
We should have got Darth Vader up in here. I got Darth Vader. He's sitting back there. I don't want to go get it, so it's just not going to happen. But
we're just saying out loud our regrets.
Yeah. Now, Lyndon, welcome to the show. This is a brand new format that we're doing. It's called video.
Is it brand new?
No. Well, we did one before.
We did this style for a special Christmas episode.
A Christmas episode. You were kind of nervous about this. I remember we were going to maybe try it before, and you're like, where am I going to look? And I think it's going very well. You refuse to look me in the eye even now.
I'm trying to strain my neck.
What do you want me to die?
I don't know what to do with my hands. That's why I keep Grogu. He's like my anxiety, emotional support
creature.
Being.
Yeah. Entity.
He force heals
your soul. So yeah, we're a podcast, and I don't know why I keep harping on that.
We're a podcast.
But we are. I'm it's like someone's been saying that we're not.
We've been getting a lot of feedback lately, and people are like, you're like a Jodcast.
You're barely, you're a
we're
nothing.
A Jodcast?
What's
we're
a
podcast.
A Godcast. And I am so sorry to our listeners for that, because that was highly blasphemous, and I apologize. Yeah. Lyndon, we got a lot to talk about today. And what are some of the things we have to talk about? Do you remember?
I do remember. I always ask you. I
kind of screwed up my neck, by the way, when we were pretending to screw our necks up. My neck kind of hurts.
Oh boy, this is gonna be a struggle.
Oh, that's gonna hurt for the rest of the year. I was
gonna ask you. A good jumping off point is our emails, messages.
Yes. I'm going to double check that.
We never get them ready beforehand.
No.
It's always hey, while we're recording, but then it's always just Alex Williams.
You know what I love about this, though, is that it is not prepared at all. Okay, we're at 99 plus emails. You know what they're all from? Oh, we do have one. We got one from
Spotify.
our buddy Jeremy Olson sent us one.
J-Bone?
Uh,
We got to get him on the podcast. He's sprung up into my life recently.
Really?
I'm going to put some people on blast here.
Okay.
There's been a lot of complaint in a group chat about...
Who's in this group? Can we name names here, or what's...
People will figure it out.
Okay.
And they're just like, oh my gosh, Jeremy Olson keeps sending me LinkedIn requests. When will this stop? And I'm like, it'll stop when you accept them.
They're meaningless, those requests.
The man is trying to network because he's a businessman.
He's a well-known Lethbridge businessman. How dare we try to stop him?
And they're like, oh my gosh, who is this guy? Why does he keep sending me LinkedIn requests? And I'm like, accept them. It's Jeremy. He's great.
Yeah, you say that like everyone knows who he is. Some people don't.
Some people don't know who Jeremy Olson is.
If you don't,
he's been on the podcast.
Go back and watch
if you're
his
true
episode.
and faithful, if you're true and faithful,
if you are,
you're
not. Let's be real.
Because there are tiers to this. The true and faithful.
True and faithful. Of course, the bottom tiers cannot be bothered.
Can hardly be bothered.
Hardly be bothered. Excuse me.
That's the middle tier, right? The middle tier is can hardly be
hardly
bothered.
be bothered. Bottom tier cannot be bothered. That's the tier you're on right
That's
now.
like outer darkness. Cannot be bothered.
Can't be bothered to give us money to do this thing no one asked us to do and have decided to do.
Yeah.
Give us money to do this. Isn't that what Patreon is, though?
Oh, yeah, because you think the tiers are for Patreon.
What are they? What have we been talking about?
It's just like, classifying our listeners.
Friend tiers.
Listener tiers.
Listener tiers. Yeah,
and they know who they are.
This has nothing to do with Patreon, but this is all to do with just what we think of.
And besides,
you
forget about Patreon. Isn't like Jordan Peterson on some like alt-right
Rockfin?
Let's get on that.
Can we get on? How do we get on Rockfin? Who do we have to defame to get on Rockfin?
Gina Carano, or maybe.
Gina Carano, yeah.
Let's get her on the podcast. Yeah, besides our listener emails, I'm always like, should we just get straight into the Star Wars business?
You do love your Star Wars, and that's what I like about you.
Someone's got to keep this podcast focused on what matters.
Yeah, and it isn't me.
But we brought up Jeremy, and he emailed. Is it a LinkedIn request from Jeremy?
It is a LinkedIn request. I've been dodging his requests. I don't know if I'm just gonna read it. I don't remember what it says. I've read it before. This is what he says from Jeremy Olson
from J-Bone.
Hey guys, glad you decided to join YouTube where we can see the faces. He's not a great speller, so I'm just going to editorialize a little bit here.
Fair enough.
Where we can see the faces that run the place or the podcast. As a true and faithful, and he's
a true and faithful.
He's claiming that status. Do we grant it to him?
If you claim it, you can have it.
Okay. And that's a very low bar.
If you even think you're a true and faithful listener of this podcast, you are.
If you've said those words before, even in an ironic way, true and faithful.
The fact that you've had to say it ironically, it means you're like true and faithful.
Yeah. So he goes on to say, as a true and faithful and as a former invitee, I enjoy and will always enjoy the side comments and sayings. What are some sayings we have?
I don't know.
Where we say, and as everyone knows.
Well, we're like a fish swimming in water. We don't know our idiosyncrasies.
And that's one of the sayings.
That's one of the things. We're always like, oh, like a fish in water.
I'm like a fish in water.
And I'm like a fish out of water.
How many times a day do we say that? I'm a fish in water.
I'm like cutting up a cucumber, and I'm like, gosh, I'm like a fish in water with this cucumber. Because cucumbers have so much water. They're like 97% water.
And humans used to be fish. That's not true.
That's impossible.
No.
Get out of here with that nonsense.
Okay.
Where's my... If we came from fish, why is there still fish?
Yeah, it is like...
Where's my gills?
Well, they sealed into your neck muscles that now hurt if you sleep on them wrong.
That makes sense. That adds up.
He goes on to say he enjoys our comments and sayings. Also, and then he just kind of gets into the nitty gritty. Would July be a good time to come on again? He's inviting himself on. We haven't decided if we want him back on. We should have.
I actually decided I did want him back on.
Oh, you just okay.
I don't know.
Too.
I don't know how he knew that.
I honestly do.
I actually.
I think he just knew.
We need to have a special episode with Jeremy and my brother.
Do they have beef or what?
Oh, they've got a whole side of beef.
They got a whole brisket.
Yeah, I don't know where it stands, but I'm just like, they need to hash it out on the podcast. Like a Dr. Phil style come to Jesus meeting.
A cash me outside moment may happen.
Where we got to sit them down.
Can you give us any indication as to what this beef is about?
They were supposed to meet for wings.
Okay.
And there was some miscommunication. And as a result, there have been hard feelings. And
wait,
I think
did they not meet up, or did they go to the wrong place?
I'm not going to get into details. That's for them to get into.
Because I feel like this could be probably resolved very quickly. It seems.
It should be.
Seems like it's kind of nothing almost.
Well, on the surface, it would seem that way.
Yeah. Because that's probably the truth, right?
Yeah. But they're not friends anymore.
And yet they hate each other.
They were once people that would meet to get wings together. And now that would never happen.
Where once they were wing friends.
Yeah.
Henceforth and forevermore they have been wing enemies.
Yeah, like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
But maybe that'd be a terrible episode.
It would be awful, but I want to see it happen.
Let's get them on the podcast one-on-one, and they each get to tell their side of it.
And let's just be in the background, and we'll just sort of keep quiet.
Well, and then after the fact, we'll edit the videos accordingly to make one or the other seem like the bad guy.
Yeah, I like that idea.
We'll do that.
And
I mean,
do we want to kind of
this is
choose?
Pure.
And hopefully we have 4 listeners and they're 2 of them. So hopefully, maybe they'll miss this episode.
I can think of at least 6 people that listen.
Do we want to say who the villain of that is going to be? Just right off the bat?
That's spoiling it.
Okay.
Place your bets, people. Who's the villain in that story?
Go to mybookie.com.
Or Jeremy. What's the one Dr. Disrespect does? FanDuel? How do we get like a gambling sponsorship where we create bets?
And we're like, this episode brought to you by Modelo. It's never a bad time for Modelo's spirits. Then we go on like a 40-minute rant about spirits. Or I keep interjecting it at weird moments about alcohol and Modelo. In the UFC.
Troy.
In the UFC, they're always there's about to be this, someone's about to kick someone in the head, and one of the announcers, John Anik, he's like, and this fight is brought to you by Modelo. Oh! And then they get kicked in the head. Someone gets a brain trauma. He's like, Modelo's a great thing after you have a concussion. We can do that right before we talk about temple worthiness.
For shame. Don't even get me started on the word of wisdom. How I love and hate it.
You light up a cigar. So
no, not until I have my firstborn son.
When's he coming?
Well, I don't know.
Then you can sit him on your lap.
I already told Jasmine. I was like, Troy and I are smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
Once my son is born.
In the room.
In the hospital.
Blow it in the baby's face.
It toughens him up. They'll be like, sir, you can't do that. I'll be like, I work here.
Hey. Yeah.
I know my rights.
And I'll be there with a mop, and I'll be like, I do too. And I blow. And I've never smoked before though, so it's gonna be
it's gonna be rough.
We're gonna be throwing up in the delivery room.
I'll be like, oh, it's tradition.
Yeah, doctors everywhere. They're freaking out.
I'll probably get admitted.
Yeah, and I'll be and I'll just be there.
But you know what? We'll wait and see when my baby son is born.
And what's his good name gonna be?
Hard to say.
Grogu. He wants to come. It's a good name.
What about a middle name? Can you imagine?
What's the best Star Wars name you could? A Star Wars name, but it's a middle name.
Greedo.
I love how quickly you arrived at that conclusion. But like Han though, right? Like what about Han?
James Greedo.
James Greedo Naglis. I love
First
that.
name.
It's such a good name, actually. Is Naglis a bit of a Star Wars name?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It seems a little too...
Commander Naglis.
It's like too Baltic.
Is
Too
that a
on the
common
nose.
name?
Well, if you don't know...
In the Baltics, yes.
Well, like if you think of like all these basketball players, Valanciunas, Sabonis, Marcialonis, Porzingis, they all end in that IS.
Zingus.
Ingus, Valanciunas.
Was
Though
it?
Valanciunas spells it with the AS, which I think is the Russian way. And we don't like to talk about the Russian occupation of the Baltics. He should really change his name to an IS. But, you know, it ends. Those are like those Baltic kind of names.
Okay.
Lithuania, Latvia.
So you're a Baltic boy.
I'm a Baltic boy.
Should we call this podcast
okay, here
something
we
in
go.
the
Firstborn
Baltic boy?
son. I've always liked Giannis. Giannis is a very Latvian name. Giannis Grogu, Greedo, Naglis.
Giannis Greedo.
Han. Han is a middle. That's like a family name for me. Old Uncle Han.
Uncle Han. What's another good one?
not
Ahsoka
sure.
Tano.
I had Ahsoka.
Kiadi Mundi.
Baby Kiadi.
John Kiadi Mundi. And you have the full name. John Kiadi Mundi Naglis.
I like that.
Greedo. And you
I
throw
also like the
Greedo
first
in there.
name John.
John's good.
It's a straight to the point. Just John.
One syllable. I love one syllable names. Everyone who's a
John.
man has one syllable names. Wait, oops. Lyndon. Though you could go by Lind or Don. Yo, Don Naglis? Don Naglis is a businessman.
He's probably a mafia crime lord. Don Naglis.
No, but his first name is also Don.
They're like,
Don
Don
Naglis.
Don Greedo Naglis.
You're like, one Don is sufficient. Please and thank you.
It's Jefe Don Naglis.
Jefe Naglis at your service.
Anyways, did we ever finish what Jeremy was
Jeremy wants
say?
to come on in July. What else does he say? He
I know
says,
he's talking business. He's like, July work for you guys?
yeah, sure. Whatever. I think that would be great, he says. To talk all things crazy, anything goes. Yeah, so he just wants to.
Oh, he knows the rules of the podcast.
Anything goes.
Anything goes.
It's like
within reason.
I mean, yeah, be careful.
Come on.
Don't go crazy on us.
This is a respectful podcast.
We respect things here. There's sanctity here, not like some other podcasts out there that have no respect for anything
There's some disgusting podcasts.
or where
out
they
there.
came from. They have no respect for where they came from. Yeah,
Disgusting.
I don't think I'm allowed to say.
Speaking of which, did Alex Williams email us?
Well, I'm going to get through this one first. I'm not done this one yet.
Jeremy's still going?
Yeah.
Okay.
He says, I think that would be great. I do need to catch up on The Mandalorian, but let's tentatively book for July 10th
See?
mid-afternoon. He's like, have a plate ready for me.
Pencil it in. A plate of what?
He didn't say that, but, he'll want a
Just
plate.
a bare plate?
Just a plate, and he'll break it as part of his ceremony. You guys are the best. Can't wait to be on again. And thank you for letting me book my appearance. I like how he does it, and then he thanks us for it. Like we're the a-holes if we don't let him on.
Why wouldn't we let him on?
He's been up to no good. He's been
sending LinkedIn requests.
Unsolicited
like
LinkedIn
some sort
requests.
of LinkedIn skank.
Yeah, we need to talk about LinkedIn request consent.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing that's obviously
He needs a talking to.
Jeremy is
If
abusing.
one thing he's going to be on the podcast to learn about LinkedIn consent.
It's consent.
He needs it.
LinkedIn consent. That's all
We
we
gotta get
know
him
for
up there.
sure.
Yeah, you're welcome, Jeremy.
That's all we can confirm.
But
So
see, he gets it. He's like, I got to catch up on the Mandalorian.
yeah,
He's not saying I got to catch up on the Book of Mormon.
he's caught up. He's read it a few times.
That's true. He is caught up.
Do you
This
think?
Jeremy. He's probably still teaching Elders Quorum in Lethbridge.
How many times do you think Jeremy's read the Book of Mormon? How many times have you read the BOM?
Less than 10.
The big book.
Less than 10 times.
The blue one.
I'm not into double digits.
The little Bible.
Somewhere between 5 and 10.
America's scripture. 5 and 10. Yeah, probably me too. Maybe 3 to 5. Once. Let's be real.
One time on my mission, I read it.
I read it before because I'm a good boy.
Hey, I had companions that were finishing the Book of Mormon for the first time on with me.
Are we talking mission stories?
Is this a mission story?
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, like I had a companion. I've told this story 100 times. He was reading. He finally had gotten to the end of the Book of Mormon when like people are like eating each other. It's like raping and cannibalism.
Yeah.
And of course, it was his day to do the dinner lesson. So I did a dinner lesson about like the raping and the cannibalism because it blew his mind. He had no idea that happened. He's like, his lesson was, isn't that crazy? And I was so glad that he like, workshopped this lesson on some like very, reasonable, strong, young, nice members of the church.
I thought you were going to say that he workshopped it on like a brand new member.
No. It was, he lived in our apartment complex. He was going to school to be a physician's assistant.
Okay.
He was a nice guy. Him and his wife, actually.
Were they also like, whoa, crazy? Or were they like, yeah, we know?
No, I think like after the fact, he like kind of took me aside to be like, never let him do that again with anyone else, right? I was like, yes.
Never let him talk again.
That was actually, yeah. Bless his heart. He was one of the stupidest.
Did I ever tell you about the time they made us as missionaries teach seminary one morning, or they like wrangled us into it?
I don't think I've heard this one.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Isn't that against the mission rules?
Probably.
You can't be up that early.
It was like us and a bunch of like, teenagers in a room. And that seems like it's breaking a rule, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, missionaries can't be trusted with teenagers.
We are teenagers. Anyway, so we're teaching the thing, and it's that chapter in the Book of Mormon where they so they've come back from Jerusalem with the daughters of Ishmael, and Ishmael's with them, and everybody's there, and they're running low on food, and it's the chapter I think where he's going to, maybe the bow is broken or something like that. Anyway, there's a part in it where
you might have to go back and reread it.
There's a part in it. Yeah, we should read it right now. There's a part in it where there's like he says, and the women had plenty of suck for their children. Do you remember this part?
Of course.
And it's just kind of a weird...
Because they were just eating raw meat.
Yeah.
But they still gave plenty of suck for their children.
Yeah.
It was a miracle.
And so, but like, it's not the main point of the lesson, and I didn't need to read it, but I just sort of I wanted to sort of be like, okay, guys, well, let's move on here with chapter, verse 7, and they had plenty of suck for their children. A bunch of like teenagers are looking at me. I'm like, and I look at my companion. He's like, he gives nothing back. He's like, you keep talking.
You're like, this is not a point we stop at.
I was like, anyway. Yeah. And I just kept reading, but I just remember that plenty of suck line was a weird place for me to highlight for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, good mission story.
Can you give us like the short version of that story?
Troy teaches seminary on his mission. Let me finish.
Okay.
Pauses at weird part of the scripture.
I like
highlights. Highlights strange verse.
I like just Troy teaches seminary on his mission.
That's like the title of like a Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode.
Yeah.
The gang teaches seminary or something.
Yeah. So we're still not done this, by the way.
Jeremy keeps going.
But tentatively, let's book for July 10th, mid-afternoon. You guys are the best. Can't wait to be on again. And thank you for letting me book my appearance. See you guy. He puts you, the letter U for you, by the way.
So casual.
See you guys soon.
I hope he doesn't do this in LinkedIn.
I swear
it's not professional.
Yeah, I hope not to. Stay away from text conversations. Get the audience ready for the storytelling of Jeremy. Later, boys.
Later, boys. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks, buddy. Jer.
Okay, that's an email from a listener.
And this is all content, guys. This is all for you. And we're doing this for you. And no one asked us to, but we're doing it anyway. Where was I?
Reading emails.
I think that was it.
There's so many emails.
I think that was it. They're all, it's all.
So Alex and Andrew couldn't be bothered to write in this week.
I don't remember if these were from.
Because they already sucked you in somewhere else.
I mean, I don't know if we're allowed to. We can't really get into it. It's a secret.
Okay, it's a secret.
And we can't really say anything more beyond that, other than that there's another podcast out there, and it's filled with nasty ex-Mormons. And maybe... it
really boils my goat.
Maybe they asked me to be on. I don't know.
Disgusting.
And maybe I tried to talk some sense into them, and maybe they...
Now the episode's deleted.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway.
I wonder why they wouldn't invite me on.
I think we all know what you would do if you went on. You'd bring a staff with you. And you'd split their skulls with it. You'd be like, you know how Moses split the sea? Bah! Crack! Cleave their skull. I split your skull.
Your brain is the Red Sea now, heretics.
I'm about to make a Red Sea out of your brain matter, baby.
Old Testament justice.
Meanwhile, they're like, oh my gosh, what have you done?
No, I've never been hostile like that.
No.
I've always been welcoming and understanding.
To an extent.
Open-minded.
Yeah.
My mind is not closed.
It's open. So those are all the emails we have, though.
Okay.
Should we get to the topics of the show that we need to discuss?
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Jeremy's got to catch up on Mandalorian because we're a Star Wars podcast.
Yeah, and we are now entering Star Wars realm.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to follow up. The official stance of this podcast is we love Gina Carano.
Big fans.
Love her work.
Everything she's done.
She's done nothing wrong.
All of her
She's never misspoke.
All of her works.
Any creative, any output.
Written content.
Spoken.
Digital media.
Don't care what it is.
We love it all. We love it.
Don't care what it is. She's always on the ball. That's the official stance here.
Well, unless there was something that's
to
off.
err is human.
To err is human.
Has she made errors before? I wouldn't know.
Like a fish out of water, yeah. If
Like
you were an MMA fighter and you were in a Hollywood show,
let me get into the headspace. Keep going.
You're in a Hollywood show about space lasers and green guys, like this little guy here.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to say crazy stuff on the internet?
It'd finally be my opportunity.
I'd be like, you'd be like, crack. Let me get my fingers ready to
warm up,
to strike the surface of my phone, and let me say what I really need to say.
But
whatever that may be,
whatever her perceived or imagined sins were. It's now negatively affecting us.
Imagined.
Yeah, whatever her imagined faux pas were.
Whatever, if there were any.
She was supposed to star in her own spin-off Star Wars show.
Yeah.
Why? Because she's great.
Yeah, because she's the friggin' sheriff of Nottingham.
And you're like, this is a lady that could carry her own show.
Give her a show, they said.
And they gave her a show.
They said, give her a show. Give her 2. She's on 1. Give her another.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's got those broad, strong shoulders.
Yes. That's what I thought you were going to say. I was like,
you were getting worried?
I was like, what is he going to...
She could carry a show.
On those big, broad shoulders. She's strong, dude.
Yeah.
Did you see her in that one? I think it was the season finale of season 2. She friggin' her laser gun jams. Click. Crap. Got a jam. What does she do?
What did it jam on?
Oh, wait, hold on.
A laser cartridge?
Yeah, we'll just keep talking, but maybe, you know what we'll do? This is what we'll do.
Is it still going?
Are we back again? And we'll just
I don't know.
We'll just do.
Hey, you know.
The laser gun jams, and what does she do? She friggin' uses it like a battering ram.
Yeah. Just like destroying.
We're good. And that's a strong lady.
Yeah.
And
she choke slams the one guy or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Point is, Rangers of the New Republic.
It's canceled.
Canceled.
All because she
Not
had
only-
to open her big dumb fingers on the interwebs
Because it wasn't good enough to cancel Gina.
and use.
They're like, let's cancel anything she's associated with.
I think it's a case of mistaken. I think she's a conspiracy lady, but I think she doesn't realize all of the like seedy nefariousness that sometimes underpins a lot of the conspiracies. Like that one picture that she put up, which is it's kind of like an anti-Semitic picture of like a bunch of like caricaturized looking Jewish men holding up the world, or no, society's being held up, and at the table is all these. Do you know the picture I'm referring?
Absolutely not.
She posted it.
I've never seen anything she's tweeted.
Anyway, she put up this picture, and she thought it was sort of. I don't know what she thought. I'm not going to put thoughts in her mind, but it was that was one of the faux pas, where she is the Jewish. I don't think she thought it had anything to do with Jewish people, but it does. And
what are you trying to say, Troy?
I'm trying to say that I think she screwed up. I don't think she realized that, because how could you put that up if you knew what it was? Do you know what I mean? If you knew that this picture, she put it on her Twitter. Can I show you?
Oh, yeah, I guess. She hasn't been banned from Twitter?
Maybe she was. I don't know.
That's like a thing, big tech likes to do. They all like to gang up on each other. And
Gina Carano.
Gina Carano. But while you're getting it ready.
Picture.
So like I said, whatever her perceived or imagined sins, the show's... And you know what the real heartbreak is?
What?
Now the Kim's Convenience guy, our local hero.
Oh, now he doesn't get a...
He was going to be in that show. And we like to claim him. I think he briefly in his lifetime lived in Calgary.
Really?
Calgary. I don't know how to say it when I'm talking about the city
Calgary.
to people that are potentially not from the city.
Well, it's Calgary.
The Calgary
Here it is.
Stampede. Okay.
All we have...
I got to put you down for a second, Grogu. Gina Carano. Okay, so it's a Monopoly. All we have to do is stand up and their little game is over because we're holding up the Monopoly board of the elites.
Yeah. Let me see this again.
That doesn't seem anti-Semitic.
Well...
It seems like anti
I'll show
1%. It's like focus. Isn't it just like rich white dudes in there?
It's like focusing on the reflection in the phone. Maybe we'll just put it up or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that can be the picture for this episode on Instagram.
No.
I don't know. I don't know what could possibly go wrong.
What could go wrong? Well,
she makes a good point. If those people all stood up, their game of Monopoly would be over.
Literally.
It's factual. I don't know who those people are. Allegedly, we're the people underneath holding the game board up.
I don't know how Semitic these guys look, but apparently it's like an anti-Semitic picture. That's what the thing
people
is.
That think it's anti-Semitic are the racist ones, assuming that those guys are Jewish.
What if the guy who made it came out and was like, no, yeah, those are all Jewish people.
I'm the original artist.
Yeah, I'm the artist.
I've sold the NFT of that meme for $700,000.
I'm a millionaire.
I'm now one of those people.
Yeah. If you stand up, my game is over. Please don't.
He was like, yeah, they're Jewish. I will confirm.
Yeah. So anyway, the idea here is that I wonder if she just didn't realize what she was doing. What I don't know.
And also, it's like, what do you mean if we? Oh yeah, because she did not get rich off Star Wars. She's not friggin' rich.
Well, I think because she was also caught up in the like voter fraud thing, and a lot of other sort of conspiracy. I mean, we all listen. 2020 was a crazy year. We all got a little caught up in some conspiracy theories. If you didn't, then
yeah, they're still ongoing.
Yeah.
Isn't like the official stance of America that COVID was a Chinese lab release?
It is now, yeah. And also aliens are real. We need to talk about that. Aliens exist and they're real, and the government has.
What, the UFO?
The UFO, yeah, they've confirmed
They already
it.
confirmed that it's like a camera effect.
No, they didn't. They're saying they're real. Haven't you heard this? Have you not heard?
I know Joe Rogan brought it up. The government's
the
like,
government.
oh yeah, we have UFOs all the time.
Yeah, the U.S. government. They're just like, yeah, they're all real. It's all real, dude.
They're like, oh yeah, there's always flying objects that we're like, where did that come from? We can't explain it. It's probably like the Chileans working on something.
Classic Lyndon. Blame the Chileans.
Not always.
Blame the Chile. That's one of our sayings.
Sometimes it's these Argentinians.
Ooh.
It's always those South American nations up to no
Let it be
good.
said, I am very pro South America. I think it's the best of
I'm
the
not
Americas.
sure. I'm pretty neutral on
Of all
South
the
America.
Americas, you're like, I lean neutral.
I'm like,
And that's like,
I'm neither here nor there on South America.
and listen, I think South America and we're going to be okay without your approval. So.
Probably. Okay, so yeah, I get UFOs, whatever.
So I think Gina Carano, the show is canceled.
It was, let's be honest, it was the one I was least excited for.
I didn't care for it much either.
I was like, and then it was like, what is Dave Filoni going to be the main cast? Like, how is it all going to work?
Yeah.
Like
Dave Filoni, Kim's Convenience, and her are just gonna
our main cast.
They're gonna hang out in a like a cantina, like Cheers or
like looking for problems in the Republic to solve.
Yeah.
Sounds. I mean, well, I think here's the real reason.
I wasn't excited about it. You know?
Dave Filoni gets promoted.
Yeah, that's big news.
Dave Filoni gets promoted to Lord of Lucasfilm.
Lord of Lore, if you will.
Lord of Lore.
It's kind of his one.
The Lore Master.
He's one of them. Now, he's not the one. And he's not the one. He's part of a board of people who this is also their job.
If it's not all Dave Filoni, then it's...
But let's be real. Let's be real.
Who else is on the board?
Who's going to be,
Who's the one wearing the cowboy hat on that committee?
It's obviously Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
Who's the only man?
Who's the one wearing
willing to wear
sheriff? His sheriff boots.
A cowboy outfit to a business meeting with George Lucas and anyone he meets. Obviously, one man only, Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
I think we should all be
So that's good news. So he's just like, I accidentally wrote myself into this show, which I can't do.
Yeah.
And we don't like Gina Carano anymore. So the show's canceled.
It was too much Gina. I mean, like, they can't... I don't think they're going to, like, replace her character either. I think we just won't see her ever again.
She's just written off.
Yeah. Which is fine. It's like,
It's not fine. Don't say it's fine.
Okay,
it's a travesty.
It's not fine. It's the worst thing that could have happened to the man. She's the anchor of the man. They should have called it... What's her name again? Cara Dune?
Cara Dune.
They should have called it the Cara Dune.
The Cara Dunian.
The Cara Dunian. So
featuring Mando.
Some other guys.
Featuring Mando.
Featuring the main characters.
Yeah, like, is it a travesty? Yes. Will life go on?
No.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes. Is South America going to survive without our approval? Yes.
Yeah, they're going to keep churning out their UFOs.
Like, they're primarily responsible for UFO.
They've got all their prototype aircrafts. They're always launching up here.
They're always launching their prototype aircraft.
Teasing us. Such teases down in
That's
South
what
America.
it's about. They're like, look what we have. And then they fly home.
They're like, how does it move laterally so quickly? It's like against the laws of physics.
We can affect time, space, and gravity with our propulsion system. Bye.
Jeez.
What else do we need to discuss? Dave Filoni. Yeah, so he's, keep in mind, Kathleen Kennedy, she's still the big boss.
Yeah.
For now.
But I feel like she's just the business lady.
Yeah. Well, no,
If
though.
Dave Filoni is at the helm of the creative things, that's good news.
He's not at the helm of all creative things, but he's got a seat at the table where they discuss the future of like creative things. I
don't like that news. I don't want him to have a seat at the table. I want him to be the table.
Listen,
I want people to take seats at him.
His magnetic charisma is going to overtake the table, obviously. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, look at his cowboy hat. They're going to be so distracted by his cowboy outfit. He'll wear like a badge. He'll literally have like a badge with sheriff on it.
And he's going to be like, who else here apprenticed personally with George Lucas?
Yeah. Anytime there's an argument.
And everyone will be like,
like, I don't
he's
know.
like, should I call George?
Why don't we get George on the horn and see what he has to say?
Because I have his number.
Yeah. And then he calls him
And
up.
they're like, we all have his number.
Yeah. They're like, he's right there. He's like, hi, I'm George Lucas. I'm in the room. Yeah.
Dave invited me again on set.
He's like, I got a new character. His name's Narnard Bings. What do you guys think? They're like, all right, bye.
His name's Narbadon Naglis.
His name's Greedo Chiari-Mundi Naglis. What do you guys think of that? Kind of sounds like Caitlyn Jenner. Or at least Kyle Dunnigan's impression of her.
But I guess we got to talk about Dave Filoni and that 8th season of the Clone Wars that no one asked for.
Bad Batch. Yeah, I love that. I'm loving it. Are you loving it?
I enjoy it.
The Bad Batch. Disney Plus.
I did see, you know how like on social media they'll create like fake outrage?
Yeah.
So someone made a meme like making fun of people that say the Bad Batch is the 8th season that no one asked for, which I don't think anyone really had that opinion. Like that was not vocalized out into social media.
Right.
But people have to like be in opposition to a fake take.
Yeah.
And that's one of them.
A fake take.
It's a fake take.
And that's another one of our sayings. Copyright.
We're always like, those fake takes.
You know what I can't stand?
Fake takes.
A fake take. I want real takes only.
But in it, yeah. Here's the thing. The Bad Batch
is really good. Sorry, what
it
were you
was
going to say?
It was not my favorite part of season 7.
Yeah.
It was only, I mean, it would have been my least favorite part, except for like, what was it? The Diaz sisters episodes.
How many episodes was that too?
Too many.
It was like 8 episodes of the Diaz siblings.
I would have preferred in George Lucas style, like more standalone droid episodes than that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have loved a Gonk droid episode. And like, what does he do all day? What's a Gonk droid even do?
Gonk around.
We would.
George Lucas would love to explore that.
If nothing else, they gonk around for sure.
I mean, well, yeah. Speaking of the droids in the latest episode of The Bad Batch, phenomenal.
I love that one little guy, and he's like, "All right, guys, get to work," and he's like. He's got little arms, but and little legs, and he's like, ching, 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 and he like puts the whole ship back together almost single-handedly. You know what guy I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's like peak droid design
in
like Star Wars.
Ting. Yeah,
he's kind of. It's like they had R2-D2, and then they went to Chopper.
Yeah,
you know Chopper.
I don't.
Come on, Troy. Rebels. Have you not seen any Rebels?
I haven't. I've started Rebels. I haven't gotten all the way through it. I'm like 4 or 5 episodes into it.
The token droid of the crew in Rebels is called Chopper.
Okay.
And he's like the sassiest, greatest droid.
He's a sassy little droid.
Yeah, he's always got little comebacks. He's always like, wah, 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 wah.
And they're like, Chopper.
They're like, Chopper, come on.
Come on, Chopper.
But he plays the role. He's like a sassy R2-D2.
Love it.
Where he's like in the background, you know, hacking the turbo lift to like save the day.
Yeah.
But then he's giving the crew guff at the end of the episode.
Guff.
He's like, hey, I might be your faithful droid, but I'm going to let you hear about it.
Can he talk?
Here's the thing. Well, he does like droid talk. But you can like, so you can almost like, he has like the way his cadence is, you can like hear what he's saying in a sense. You'll see when you actually watch it like a true fan.
So he's like, if he were to say, I really hate onions, he'd say like, onions. Like
You'll
that?
see. You'll see.
You like something? No, nothing like that.
No, but yeah.
No, but yes.
You'll see.
Um,
So yeah, this latest droid from Bad Batch is kind of like
that
It's like an
droid.
iteration of kind of Chopper's design.
yeah.
And so yeah, those droids were great.
Why were the Diaz sisters so? Why was that such a bad? Do you think it was that bad? Was it that bad? It was a.
It wasn't great.
It was a tale of two sisters.
Here's the thing. I like that it introduced. Weren't they literally on like level 1313 in Coruscant?
Yeah.
I like that they kind of introduced, because there was a video game supposed to be called 1313.
Right.
Based on like the seedy criminal underground of level 1313 on Coruscant.
And it's like cyberpunk, but Star Wars.
It was like going to be like a bounty hunting cyberpunk thing.
Yeah.
And so like everyone
Sounds cool.
So people are like, man, I really wish that game got made. I really want to explore level 1313.
Yeah.
And you know, Dave Filoni, he's listening to us all.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's give him some level 1313 episodes. But then he throws in the friggin' lady from Orange is the New Black. And she's like the same character. Like, are they even called
Martez?
Yes.
Martez sisters.
Like we're being borderline racist calling them the Diaz sisters.
Yeah, how dare you? I like how I just accepted that too.
The Diaz sister episode. It's like Nate and Nick Diaz.
Trace Mart. Yeah, that's.
Well, it's like
the Diaz brothers show up. They're just like
Stockton, California. We're from Stocktonia.
Hey man, I'm the hottest guy in here, man. That's my impression of Nate.
Nate Diaz.
I'm a vegan, man. I'll kick your ass, man. Is that pretty good? Yo, man, you're dead, man. It's got a little Mike Tyson in it, you know?
It's a great Nate Diaz
Mike
impression.
Tyson. Mike.
So yeah,
Yo, if you want a good afternoon activity, look up Mike Tyson fight highlights.
Oh yeah.
By the way.
Yeah, so he gave us those episodes. Look at us. We're on Clone Wars, Rebels. We haven't even talked about the Bad Batch barely. Yeah, they were like irritating and
Jedi or not, I consider you my friend. Yeah. Well, I think they were a nice little play. I mean, they're a nice little side mission for Ahsoka to sink her teeth into.
Yeah.
I'm a big Ahsoka fan. Anything she's doing is, it's going to be a good time. Her journey is so interesting. Is she a gray Jedi now officially? Like, if to fast forward through to Mandalorian times, is she officially a gray Jedi or what is she?
Well, she's not a Jedi anymore.
She's getting a show too.
She's like a gray Force user, I would say.
Interesting.
She is no Jedi.
Do you think we're going to see more Luke in a future Mandalorian season?
No.
Or was that sort of a...
That's just a big bad cameo. The thing that's interesting, I heard Katie Sackhoff, she was saying they didn't even know it was going to be Luke.
Oh.
They were told that a Jedi is coming in. So like they're on set with the body double.
Yeah.
And they think it's the body double because they were told it was going to be Plo Koon.
Plo
Koon. Okay. Which we all know it's like that. If we were like, Katie, give your head a shake. He got blown up in Order 66. But then again,
that's right. He's the one with like the eyes that are like, and like the face mask, and he's got like horns that come down, right?
Yeah. That's him.
Yeah, he got blown up.
But it's Star Wars and like
plus he's got a black Luke Skywalker robe on.
Hey,
the body double.
They were told it was going to get turned
They're
into
like,
him.
Never mind this. It's Plo Koon.
So they were told, it's going to be Plo. Which even if that was the case, that would be a huge reveal. Where they're just like, guess what? Even though he got blown up in space, somehow he survived.
It is Plo
Koon. They love doing that in
And
in Star Wars. Somehow he survived. It's like the greatest writing tactic ever.
And his head looks like a turkey.
Like a chicken cutlet.
Yeah, like a Thanksgiving turkey. It really does.
Yeah, so basically the point was the cast was surprised that it was also Luke Skywalker.
Fun.
Because they like lied to him. And they're like, oh, it's going to be this Jedi.
Big lie.
It's the deception.
You know what hurts the most? The lying.
Yeah.
Okay,
so...
Yeah, there's not a whole lot about the Bad Batch I want to discuss. Other than that, I'll say this. The animation...
Yeah, the animation is like next level.
Oh, the animation, I want to bathe.
So good.
I want to bathe in that depth of field effect that they have for all the characters. And it's incredible.
The textures. How do they do the textures?
The textures, the way it all pops out from from everything. It's so good looking.
You go to like Clone Wars Season 1. The animation there to the animation now.
Oh,
we're living in the future, baby.
We are. I like how they've like retained the style, though.
It's just refined.
They've refined it. They've retained it, and I love it, man. It's really good.
Oh, the best part is I heard people were just giving Freddie Prinze Jr. a hard time for his little cameo. You probably didn't even catch that. Did you remember in the first episode that like the full length feature film episode, the little Padawan Jedi that they try to save?
Oh, that's.
And did you think how weird it is that this 12-year-old had like this 40-year-old man's voice?
Kinda.
It's like Freddie Prinze Jr. It's just like, hey, gal, I can't do a Freddie Prinze Jr. accent.
I did, I thought...
Like, everyone thought it was... Well, it was so out of place for real Star Wars fans because he does the voice of Kanan Jarrus.
Right.
So the cameo is...
Okay, that's him.
In Rebels, Kanan Jarrus is an adult, and they're showing... And he tells the story of what happened during Order 66.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, I was there, and, I was a little Padawan, and my master was killed by the clone troopers that followed her.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing is like, and now in the Bad Batch, we're seeing that.
That's kind of cool.
But it's so out of place for people that, because even in like Jedi Fallen Order, what's his name? Like Caleb?
Cal Kestis.
Well, like the voice actor / motion capture actor.
Yeah.
Is when they do like young Cal, it's not the same voice.
Well, it's a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like him as like a young adult, and then him as like a young, because him and Kanan Jarrus, he goes by a different name in Bad Batch because he changes his name when he's on the run.
Right.
But for a fact it's the same guy because it's Freddie Prinze Jr. Not changing it at all. It's like everyone's like, it's like
he's a young man. He's a teen.
It's like off-putting to be like, why does this young Padawan have Kanan Jarrus's voice?
Because he's Kanan friggin' Jarrus, whoever that is.
And it's just like, I can't believe you haven't watched Rebels.
I've watched a bit of it. I need to get...
Obviously not enough. You don't even know any of the characters.
I don't know their names.
I'm ashamed.
I don't know their names.
You're going to get kicked off of this Star Wars podcast.
No, I'll be replaced.
It's probably because you watched a few episodes of Rebels and you probably saw the thinnest lightsabers and you're like, I'm too
toothpick lightsabers.
And you're like, I'm too uncomfortable to watch the rest of this.
I need a big, girthy lightsaber, please.
Yeah, where are these little toothpick sabers going to cut through?
Pew pew.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
You can't deflect a blaster bolt.
Give me the thickest. Who had like the thickest lightsaber? Was it like Empire or like Return of the Jedi? There were some beefy lightsabers too.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe some comics I'm thinking of where just like the glow of the saber is just.
Oh yeah, I've seen in the comics.
It's like
it looks like a sword.
Yeah.
It's got like a real thick base.
It's like here's the hilt. And then it's just like this. It's just like a really.
We're like, is it glare or what is it? I don't know.
But I love it.
Point is, the worst part of Rebels is the lightsaber design.
Can't you, on the lightsaber hilt, can you not sort of adjust the length and width of the blade?
Oh, the focus of the crystal?
Yeah.
Absolutely, you can.
Yeah. So that's a choice they're all making to make them real thin.
In this particular series, yeah.
They're like,
it seems that way.
What were they thinking?
It was like an era of Force users where they're like, let's try really concentrating this beam.
Let's try thin.
Into like the thinnest saber.
Let's for our.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is a fan. I have never heard of anyone who's a fan of it.
Why don't they just change it? Why don't they do what George Lucas does best? Go back and change it.
If it was up to George Lucas, I'm sure he would.
Isn't it?
No, he sold the company.
He sold it.
He's got his. I remember I was trying to tell Jasmine how much money he got for it, and she didn't believe me.
$4 billion.
Yeah.
Lots of Disney stock, I believe.
Did he get paid in Disney stock, or did he get like $4 billion cash?
I think a lot of it was Disney stock. That's what let's check. Let's double check.
But
we're double checking.
Well, speaking of the wild cost of media, we've barely talked about the bad. I mean, that's all there is to talk about the Bad Batch, really.
I like the characters.
It's Unit 99. Do you hope for what's his name, Crosshair, Deadeye, Hawkeye,
to be redeemed?
The sniper boy. Yeah. Are you hoping to see his redemption arc? Like that is kind of like the arc of the show. Like they're just like, we need to figure out how to fix his chip.
Yeah.
To give him free will so that he'll be our friend again.
Be funny if they take it out and he's still like,
and he's
nah.
He's like, now that
Jedi.
my inhibitions are gone, I can finally kill you all.
Yeah. It was keeping me on track a little bit. George Lucas payment.
How did Georgie get paid? But here's my little segue. I don't know if you heard. This was like brand new to me.
Stock and cash.
This is coming from the guy who's currently replaying Shadow of War.
Okay.
Amazon making a Lord of the Rings TV series.
Yeah. The most expensive single season of television ever made.
$465 million.
Yeah.
And they're saying it's going to be like they're like at least 6 episodes. And I'm like, is like Peter Jackson in charge of the budget?
Yeah. What do you think? Are you excited for that? Like, what's it going to be even?
Well, and here's the thing that's interesting is because I'm just like, they're trying to fill the niche of Game of Thrones, I feel like. You know? Like a high quality, high fantasy show. But here's the wild thing. Mm-hmm. Lord of the Rings is a family-friendly show, right? Apparently the casting call for this show was like actors and actresses open to nude scenes. And I'm like, excuse me?
Here we go.
Where is the Tolkien family? They're going to be like, these books were for children.
These are for children. The Hobbit's for children. Lord of the Rings is a nasty little book.
Yeah, that's true.
Filled with chapters long nude scenes. Whole chapters. Everyone's nude, and he'll just throw it in.
In the movies, like, they don't show what's going on behind closed doors at Rivendell. Yeah. Those elves, they don't know anything.
Those elves are sick.
They're nasty
freaks. Elves. They're busy showing up in people's DMT fantasies. Yeah. They're like, ooh, someone's having a DMT trip. I got to go tell them what's up. Yeah. Invest in Bitcoin.
Yeah, those elves aren't wholesome.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, but I mean, they can't. Because at that price tag, Amazon has said, like, we basically need everyone in the world to watch this show.
Yeah, everyone needs to subscribe to Amazon. I mean, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, of course I'm going to watch it.
I just piggyback off my sister's account, though, so.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of no skin off my back,
I'm on a bit of a, I share my Disney Plus with some people. Some people share their Amazon Plus with me.
There's a lot of cross-contamination
happening, Just like those elves.
Those elves are sick. Cross-contaminating whatever elf diseases they have.
It's disgusting.
It's horrific.
And we're going to see it soon on Amazon Prime.
I was going to say, I want to make the joke I was going to make, which is that Tolkien, every so often, he would the scene would progress as normal, but he would just throw in, and by the way, they were all naked. Anyway, back to it. And then, and then he'd go back to it. Just to remind you in those chapters.
Everyone's
naked.
I started reading the Silmarillion. I started reading it, but I haven't finished it. So I don't know. There could be freaky stuff in there.
Do you think there's going to be some nasty scenes? And
They can't. Because that's the thing. If they're like, we need everyone to watch it.
What if it's
they
tasteful nude?
They can't do like
nude.
R-rated Game of Thrones style. I mean, they could do it.
Yeah.
But then it's like, they need everyone to watch this.
What about a tasteful nude, Lyndon? We get the Aragorn character's butt.
There's some storyline of a ranger of Gondor.
And his butt.
And you have to... and you see a scar running down his back all the way down his hip.
And we're back, okay.
Does it just keep going?
It's part of the problem. I don't know. This is probably all. We'll just have to make it an audio episode. I don't know.
But because they said it has to be so expensive because they're world building.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's like.
How long are the episodes? Did they say?
I don't know.
An hour?
I assume they're going to be hour long, probably at least 6 of them. So it's like 6 hours for $465 million. And apparently they had like Orlando Bloom saying like, oh yeah, this is going to be way different. So obviously he's in it.
I don't think he's in it.
Well,
is he?
It would make sense because he plays an elf who are immortal.
Oh my gosh, are they getting old cast back in?
Well,
now I'm excited.
Well, it makes sense.
What's the time frame?
I don't know. They could be third age, second age.
Which age is it?
Like look at Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor. It's like takes place in between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. Like is there going to be a Gollum episode?
Yeah, that's a good. Yo, have you seen that Gollum game coming out?
No.
There's a Gollum video game.
That sounds terrible. It's like you like sit in this dark cave solving riddles
for centuries and centuries. You just solve riddles. You kind of climb around.
You have to
rocks.
Go catch fish in the dark and like eat their scaly raw.
Slowly
fish.
transform from Smeagol into Gollum, and it takes.
How could they make
in
a
real
game?
time? Gosh, I'd play the hell out of that game.
Yeah, like I don't know how the show's gonna go if it's like, like one clear cut like we're starting in this age, we're following the men of Gondor. Mm-hmm. Or if it's like there's gonna be like it's an anthology.
The Riders of Rohirrim.
There's gonna be like we're gonna follow the Rangers of Gondor back when they patrolled the Black Gate. I don't know. Like there's a whole. It's
the
an entire
Black Gate, isn't that from Lord or friggin' Game of Thrones?
No.
Should we do a Game of Thrones podcast?
No.
Where we just watch Game of Thrones silently.
And we're like, oh my gosh.
We're just like.
No, the wall. The wall is
wall.
In Game of Thrones. The big ice wall. The Black Gate is Lord of the Rings.
That's
the
right.
Gate, the gateway to Mordor.
That's Sauron's fence.
Yeah.
That's what he uses to keep the baddies out.
That's actually confusing.
The goodies in.
The Black Gate. It was built by Sauron. With the Sauron with the power of the ring, but then the men of Gondor used it to
keep them in,
to keep the bad people of Mordor away.
From themselves.
They're gonna have to explore that in the TV show.
They're like, just the sort of the boardroom meeting where Sauron's kind of explaining himself to people. I want to see Sauron just doing stuff. I want Sauron. I want lots of Sauron. You know what I do want, actually, is for them to explain all the crap that didn't get explained in Lord of the Rings. Stuff like
what?
For the longest time, I was just like, what's the ring? What's the ring?
Have you not played?
What's the ring? What's up with the ring?
Have you...
What's the power of the ring?
You got to read the books. This is why I loved Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War.
I played them both.
And it's great, right? Like Celebrimbor is like an actual Tolkien character that no one's ever heard of, but he's in books.
Yeah.
And he's the guy that made the rings. And now he's like a character in this video game. It's like, I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
It was cool, but
And
what are they? What's the rings do?
Well,
What do they do?
I believe
the video game.
the great god of the Middle Earth is like Ardu or something.
Okay.
Arduk? No, that's Marduk of Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then there's like these great beans. That's really hard to explain.
Some great beans?
Beans, the magic bean. No, it's like
there's these great beans.
Well, yeah, there's like a power tier of like these creatures of Middle Earth. Where it's
what's the wizards? Where
like wizards are on the same line as Balrogs, and then there's like a level above that.
So,
because
more Balrogs?
Yeah.
Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like.
Have you not spent an afternoon poring over like Lord of the Rings lore on like Wikipedia?
I tried, dude. I want to know what the ring's about. There's like, they poured the ring. And then and then in like the preamble for the movie, they're like, anyway, everyone wanted this ring for some reason. The ring of power. What can they do with the ring?
It's like they concentrate power in the ring. It's like they always talk about.
Is it a laser beam?
It's like a song. That's like the lore. Everything is created through songs.
What?
Yeah.
What the hell are you even talking about, dude?
What's
the ring do? They never
say. It gives you power.
How?
It's like, I don't know. Mr. Sauron, he like concentrates himself in the ring somehow.
He's like,
and that ring has dominion over the other rings.
And what do those rings do? Nothing. It
was all a trick.
Don't get me wrong. I love Lord of the Rings, and I love all of it. I'm just like,
you're just not getting it.
What's the ring do? What's it do?
Well, if you're
why do people want it?
Well, if you're Frodo, it makes you invisible.
Okay.
Which is quite the power.
Oh, interesting. Is it different powers for different people?
I think so. Because it's how you control it.
Let's look it up.
Like I said, like Sauron, I don't even know how, used the ring to construct the Black Gate. What does that even mean? Does it mean it gave him power over orcs who built it?
You know what this sounds like to me? It sounds like another situation where Tolkien was like naming.
He was high on his pipe weed. And he's like, there's going to be rings. Here's the thing. I'm with you, Troy. I'm literally just I'm taking a oppositional approach to your question.
Right.
I'm trying to be like a Lord of the Rings apologist here.
Yeah.
When really I'm on the same page as you. Where I'm just like, that is like the least explained, where they're always like, there's always like lines where they're like, Sauron put too much of himself in the ring.
And then it was like,
and Celebrimbor is all like, psych, I gave the ring free will. And it's like, it's a piece of jewelry.
What does it literally do, though? Who cares?
Where it's like, if you put it on, you become very powerful. It's like, great. You're powerful.
At the cost of like, you're now a slave to this sentient piece of jewelry.
Yeah, and anyone that's worn the ring will be a ring wraith forever.
It's like not
it's
worth
like your
it.
Eternal salvation has been poisoned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens to Talia. Spoilers for the video game, which is Lord of the Rings canon.
You're not going to play it if you haven't already. But they're kind of fun. The second game, I think, drops the ball because like there's no end to the game. The game just doesn't end. They're just like, psych.
Well, they can't really. They're just like,
do it all again, dude.
They're all, it's kind of like, and the Lord of the Rings books are about to start, so we're just going to kind of like leave this game in stasis.
Yo, how sick would like a Lord of the Rings, maybe it wouldn't be good. I was going to say, how sweet would like a Lord of the Rings video game that's based off of the books, but maybe not the movies, but also like...
Are you kidding me? Did you play Return of the King for GameCube?
It was so good. I love that. Yeah.
And I've been waiting for a remaster for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Shoot, 20 years.
I mean, all of them. There was, did they go through all of those stories, though?
I remember there was like a Two Towers game. Return of the King, because Return of the King starts at Helm's Deep.
Because they had a bunch of footage. I remember it would like seamlessly go between the actual movie footage, and then they would like, well, I don't know how seamlessly it was.
This is like GameCube technology.
It would go from like actually their face to like to like the video game
to the
face.
polygon character.
I was gonna say though, like with Tolkien, I feel like his explanation of the ring is another case where he's naming like Smeagol, and then he's like, "Oh, what's his buddy's name?" He's like, "I don't know, friggin' Deagle."
Schmeagol. It's like it makes sense.
It's
like if their name was John and Don, no one would question it. So if it's Schmeagol and Legal,
he was naming them. He like had to go by. Oh yeah, crap. What's their names gonna be? He's like, I don't know, friggin' Smeagol and Deagle. I don't know.
Wait, is his name actually Deagle?
It's Deagle, dude. His friend's name in the book is Deagle. Smeagol and Deagle.
That makes sense.
I remember
he was a philologist.
I remember.
So he understands how languages work here.
Real long time listeners of the podcast will remember Emma, good old Emma Houghton, who I dated and who I was on an episode or two, or I don't even know. But I remember saying that to her. I was like, was he just like a lazy writer, just Smeagol and Deagle? And she got very upset.
Rightfully so.
She's like, how
on
dare.
You said that to her on this podcast?
I don't think on this podcast, but just
at some time.
People who know the podcast would know her.
I think this is the first time we've brought up Lord of the Rings.
Later on, I think to me it's just like a really funny joke though.
Right.
It's like he's just like friggin' Deagle, Smeagol and Deagle.
They're like, Jay,
dare you?
Our Tolkien.
Tolkien's spitting in his
one of the greatest writers
his grave
of our day.
He's spinning in his Lord of the Rings themed tomb.
Yeah, oh, you know what blew my mind when I was looking up Lord of the Rings stuff after this announcement?
What?
Christopher Tolkien's dead.
Oh, who's that?
That's his son.
His son, yeah.
Who has been in charge of like editing and like releasing all his like unpublished stuff, and he's been in control of like the Tolkien estate. Like his written estate.
Yeah.
He died in 2020.
Uh-oh.
And I didn't even know.
That's why we're getting a dumb Amazon series.
Yeah, they're just like, the Tolkiens can no longer, they don't have creative control of Middle Earth anymore.
We're going to get a bunch of bull crap that's Lord of the Rings themed, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's going to be like, of course we already do, but it's all like kind of movie based. I was going to say we're going to get a mug, a Lord of the Rings mug. But they got those. Dude, I actually have.
They need a Dave Filoni over at.
Yeah, they do.
Also, I'm confused. So Amazon did Amazon buy? Oh no, because I'm so confused. Did Amazon buy Warner Brothers?
Oh, I don't know. Did they?
Because I know they were trying to buy MGM, but the Broccoli family, the Broccolis, are. They're like not okay with
James Bond. Oh yeah, there it is. Here it is.
Oh, what's?
Here it is. Guess what we have? Exclusive for the Mission Stories podcast.
Is that the one ring to rule them all?
That's the one ring.
Put it on. Do you feel powerful?
We should do a little trick where I disappear right there. No, we won't. I don't care enough to do that. No. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, I think I got a Lord of the Rings Monopoly set. And there was a replica like this. Not as this high quality, of course.
I got that from AliExpress, I believe.
Nice. Oh my gosh, is that a size 9?
I was going to try to sell them on Facebook.
As you're like worn by
give me that.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Danny yeah.
Worn
scam people.
Real movie worn.
Dude, I put it on. No one gave a crap. No one gave two craps about this thing.
Why would they? It just looks like a gold ring.
Because it's the friggin' one ring, dude.
It's got to be glowing.
Would you get this tattooed on your neck? That elven script?
I would not.
One ring and to bind them in the dark. Or whatever it is.
No. I would not get a Lord of the Ring tattoo.
Would you ever get a tattoo?
Yeah, I want barbed wire over my bicep.
Yo, that would look so good on you.
Right?
On you?
Thank you.
So good.
Like everyone's like, oh my gosh, Lyndon, barbed wire? That's so cliche and trashy. I'm like, no. It would look so dope.
Yeah.
Barbed wire on my bicep. Thank you very much.
I just realized how dark it seems we're probably getting in the frame.
Yeah, they're getting...
Should we change some settings?
They're watching the sunset live in this episode. Look at them. Look at that technology. Really night vision.
Boom, baby.
What was I trying to say before I was rudely interrupted?
Sorry.
I'm trying to talk movie and television business here. About the Broccoli family holding up Amazon buying MGM. Because one of the big reason they'd want to buy MGM is they want to start doing like spin-off Bond shows.
Oh my gosh.
But the Broccoli family is like, James Bond is just big movie theatrical releases.
Yes.
It's like, you do not make a serial TV show about like what? And who'd they make about? Q? Moneypenny?
You don't make a dumb friggin'
I think
like Jack Ryan crap series about
I think that's what they
friggin'
want.
Whoever.
So the Broccoli family is like
the quartermaster.
Is like, no.
Good on them. I'm glad.
And so they have some sense because they still have creative control a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's just like Amazon. Cool your jets.
Cool them. Bezos, friggin' relax. Do you own enough of the world yet?
$500 million on Lord of the Rings, which you're going to turn into some Game of Thrones ripoff.
Yeah. Dude, if there's nudity, it's like
it better be
heads are going to roll.
It better be like nude trolls.
Just a big troll dong.
Just naked trolls.
Yeah.
It better be like shocking and disgusting like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only nudity I'll accept. Trolls.
Or Aragorn's butt.
No. Yeah, they could do like a flash forward into the future and have Aragorn back in. Why couldn't they?
Flash forward to his butt. His bare butt.
And then who's his little elvish wife? Liv Tyler?
Liv Tyler, yeah.
She's probably begging for a job.
Yeah. Is she not working anymore?
Well, I don't know.
You're just shooting from
what
the
is
hip.
What has she ever done? Armageddon, Lord of the Rings.
Armageddon and Lord of the Rings.
I'm sure she's ready to get back into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't even mean to talk about it, and I brought it up, and I regret it.
Do we have some other... I liked that discussion of Lord of the Rings, though.
Amazon and their economic... We're supposed to talk about that sex therapist.
Oh.
This is the juicy...
Oh, we got some Ensign Peak, too.
Oh, yeah. You had some, like, fresh new scandal about Ensign Peak. And when I tried to look it up, all I saw is they increased their investments in Tesla by, like, 1,300%.
Here's what we'll do. We'll search up the person who I saw this on there.
Oh, you saw it on a Facebook post? That's your source?
But there was...
the greatest source of fake news.
There was also a big... Oh, yeah, here we go. It's like a meme. It's the Leo meme.
Right.
I don't know if you can see this.
No, they can't see that.
They can't see anything. Sorry.
There's no source on that.
Ensign Peak 2019, 100 billion. And then it's a big fat Leo doing that thing. And then it's Ensign Peak 2021, 160 billion.
Well, I don't think that's true.
And let's see what the comments say. Someone says, "What's your point of view on this?" And this person says, "That hoarding does no good to the world."
Who's this mofo?
Speaking to the mic, please.
Maybe I don't want to hear this. This sounds like some ex Mormon posting this.
Yeah. Anyway, so according to this random Facebook post,
does he not understand how the returns work? It's going to be like 110 billion in 2021, not 160. Like, get a grip.
Well, I would like to see some sources. I don't see any sources here.
Like, how would they get that huge of a return in 1 year?
Well, didn't you hear, though, Lyndon? In 2020, the market just skyrocketed. And a lot of the...
so they got 60% returns in 1 year.
A lot of the billionaires became like even vastly richer.
And Ensign Peak is a billionaire.
Sure, yeah. So it does track with that, because a lot of these, Buffett, Bezos, Musk became the richest man in the world because of his stock.
Manipulating all the retail investors with crypto.
Yeah. So it does track, but also I've shed my tears about Ensign Peak and about the churches. I just don't care that, I don't care. And if you out there care, I say stop caring. Because life is just better when you don't care.
It has made me extra grumpy to pay tithing.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, what do they need my money? I need my money.
Yeah. Sure. So then just don't pay it.
No, the Lord needs your money.
The
I was
Lord.
like,
the Lord
does not see Ensign Peak.
The Lord needs to take a look at Ensign Peak, see what they're doing.
If he needs money, go ask Ensign Peak. Don't ask me.
Go ask Ensign Peak for a loan. Because
they're good for it.
Yeah. Good luck getting it out of them, though.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I'm poor.
Yeah, you got to, you got to take care of yourself.
I'm always paying tithing.
You got to let the church take care of itself.
So in my old age, the church will take care of me.
No.
Wait, what?
Those are for the fund, Lyndon, just in case something horrible happens to the world. Like, I don't know, a global pandemic.
Hey, it wasn't even that bad.
And it wasn't that bad. See, they were right to not give any aid out of that fund.
Oh, but they did. They bought a bunch of vaccines for guess where?
Friggin' the United States?
South America. It's like they sent like $1 billion worth of vaccines down to Brazil.
Well, that's good though, right? That's a good thing.
Yeah, well, no, I did see that. And then a Facebook comment was like, not good enough. There's the bitter internet trolls. Not good enough.
But also, like, it's not good enough for how much money they have. But you could say,
with that attitude, I'm like, send the vaccines back. This one guy on Facebook complained, send them back.
You could say,
put them in the mountain vault.
You could say that about like any billionaire, It's like, why don't the billionaires just solve hunger? Why don't they just solve the problems of the world? Because then they wouldn't have $1 billion. They'd be simple millionaires like the rest of us.
Yeah. And then it's like, look at Bill Gates. Everyone's like, he's a good guy. He's trying to help everyone. And then it's just like, oh, no, he is just like Jeffrey Epstein's like
he's his
best friend.
His best friend. Jeffrey Epstein's best friend.
They're just all sickos.
You can't be a billionaire without being a sicko.
Yeah. And it's like, Melinda's like, I couldn't do it anymore because he was like eating babies and stuff.
Yeah, and that's confirmed, right?
And he's just like, why wouldn't I eat babies? I'm a billionaire.
I'm a freaking billionaire.
I have all the money in the world.
He's like, I'm bored.
I'll take your baby and I'll suck it dry of stem cells to keep me alive longer because I'm a billionaire.
Yeah.
So, no, they're not trying to solve our problems, Troy.
Okay.
They're trying to be sickos.
What was the other thing? Oh, that sex therapist that we had sort of touched on before. Kind
of old news, but...
Yeah, so the news...
Let's drudge it up.
The sex therapist was someone who got excommunicated because she had a blog and was kind of pro-masturbation, or not even pro-masturbation, but like she was anti-shame, I suppose. She had her thoughts on sexuality and how the church deals with it are like... Maybe all the shame isn't doing anybody any good, sort of a thing.
I don't know exactly what the problem was. Well, I know it's like in the cases of people that get excommunicated, she's like making it public, and she wouldn't go to her disciplinary hearing unless she could record it because she's trying to make big hype about it.
Yeah.
She's like So it's like, yeah. It's like she's very much against the church, her views.
No.
I feel for her. As someone who once got yelled at and had members of the church authority swear at me because I was talking about the law of chastity kind of similarly to how she would. Where I was like, we can't be so ashamed of this great gift God has given us. That's a part of his plan of salvation. And they're like, get this pop psychology BS out of here.
And he actually said the words.
Yeah, they were swearing at me. In my Elders Quorum lesson. Because I'm like questioning the culture of sexuality and chastity in the church. That they're like,
they're like Balrogs coming from the deep.
Yeah.
And you're like, you shall not pass.
Actually, I was like, oh, okay.
You're like, okay, I guess I'll just move on then.
Yeah, I guess we'll move on from that point.
So the thing with her, though, I listened to some of that podcast on Mormon stories she went on, John DeLynn. John DeLynn here. I'm going to talk about
John DeLynn,
Mormon stories.
The rapist.
Yeah, I guess he's been canceled now, too. Anyway, yeah, and I bet she regrets going on that podcast now.
Wait, was he actually canceled?
I don't think he's not a rapist. What did he, or is he? I don't want to say he
is or he isn't.
I want to be on the right side of whatever, okay? Just I don't
Whatever John DeLynn did, it wasn't good.
It was bad or bad. And he should be cast into jail, into a pit.
Maybe not jail, but just a pit.
Let's throw
like maybe like dig a pit.
Yeah.
Out in the desert and like toss him in it, and maybe he'll like bruise his shoulder and then like climb out. And we're like, yeah. Think about that.
And you think about that, John DeLynn.
Or if he's a rapist, he should go to jail.
Yeah, that's our official stance. Now the
Anyways.
actual this actual thing with the sex therapist, she I don't know. Yeah, I liked her story. Was interesting. She I kind of forget it at this point. It's kind of like far in the past. We record these episodes like a month out from each other. And
it was fresh in our minds a month ago.
I remember just being moved by her story. I remember feeling like she and I have a lot of the same thoughts and feelings and opinions about like the way that the church deals with sexuality and especially like the bishop's interviews with children and stuff, and like even bishops' interviews with adults. It's like, what are we doing here? Can't we manage ourselves? Can't we
teach them correct principles and let them govern themselves?
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go tell.
That sounds like madness.
We gotta go tell dirty stories, little dirty limericks to the bishop. I don't think so. I think it's just
they want all the gory details.
It's like ugh, and yeah, we've all, I don't know about we all, but like I've had, my horrific experiences with that, and just like, oh, who wants to, yes, thank you. Who wants to go through that? Not me, not anyone. And what are we doing it for? Is it helping anyone? Maybe, but I don't know. I feel like it's more harm than good, in my opinion, my humble opinion. And you can flame me in the comments about that, but yeah. So that's kind of her thoughts. I mostly agree with them. I didn't really hear anything I did not agree with. I forget her name even. What's her name?
Mm-hmm.
I forget. Anyway, that's sort of that. What else did we have to
we don't have
discuss here?
It's like my takeaway on it. She brings up some good points, but then she also pushed it a little too far and went against the church to the point of excommunication.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, okay. So it's like, thank you for your good points. Also, you're kicked out of the church for being too wild.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I could care less, to be honest.
Where it's like, people are like, can you believe she got excommunicated? I was like, I can believe.
Happens a lot.
Based on her actions, yes, I understand. Did she bring up some good points, things that should be discussed? Sure.
Are they going to be? No.
Not here.
Are things going to stay the same? Probably.
Not here unless someone demands it.
Yeah, I was talking to our nasty ex-Mormon friends, and I was saying, like, you know what? I think you guys are coming back. You guys will be back in a couple of years, you know? And you're going to be back in a couple of years because you know why? The church is changing, and it's honestly, I think it's chilling out. I think the church is chilling out. If we were to graph the church's intensity over time, I'd say that we're getting less and less intense in a negative way and more chill in a positive way.
I'd like to see this graph because it's almost like they're like, listen, the standards have always been here.
Yeah.
But we're also going to flame you less for not hitting those standards.
And guess what? We don't do blood atonement anymore. That was pretty intense. The practice of shedding some... Oh, here we go. Got to do this again.
Why does it do that, Troy?
Maximum file time sizes? I honestly don't know.
But then you just hit a button and it's okay again?
I guess. I don't know. Hopefully...
Better do my claps.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're a bunch of pros here.
You can call us a regular videographer.
I'm bad at this.
Maybe that's what a vodcast is, a video podcast. It all makes so much sense now.
Are we a blog?
No, people were calling us jodcasters.
What's that?
No. Okay.
Is this a food blog? Anyway, so, yeah, I think, blood atonement, the practice of spilling someone's blood in order.
That was intense.
That's pretty intense.
We've chilled out.
And then I think somewhere along the way, it was like, you're 12 years old and you have to tell the bishop, you have to lie to the bishop and tell him you're not masturbating. That's a little, that's somewhere on the intensity scale. And I think hopefully we can move somewhere in the direction of like, maybe 12-year-olds don't have to like talk about sex with a 45-year-old man in a room by themselves someday. Maybe that can happen someday. And I think we're headed in that direction. I actually don't know what the official stance is now or what the sort of the practices of individual bishops are, but I have a feeling that they've sort of over time they've gone away from it. I remember my bishop growing up specifically. I remember he never asked me like anything, and then I think the next bishop did or something, and that got awkward. But
hey, home-centered, church-supported.
Yeah.
That's the direct. I think that's the intensity chill level we're going.
I think you're right.
What did our friend Joe Smith always say?
Teach them correct principles and they can govern themselves.
Amen.
Also, give me your wife. She's mine now.
He has said that.
Close quote. He said at the end of a gun. Teach them correct principles. Yeah, that's how he sort of prefaces every wife taking. You teach them correct principles and give me your wife. She's mine.
He didn't do that a lot.
Just 40 times.
Not 40 times.
Maybe
You're such a rebel rouser.
Well, not
he would send
not a taking of another man's wife. Some of them were, a little on the young side. But he did have 40 wives. And that's our church. That's the episode, guys. Thanks for watching.
And Troy collects Pokemon cards now.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to see this Charizard?
Is it a holographic or whatever they call it?
You better believe it's holographic.
Is this like your crypto?
Focus. It's a bad Charizard, but it's my Charizard, and I purchased it for money. With money. Crypto money. No, I purchased it with fiat currency, but it's my Charizard. Poor condition.
That's good.
But it's mine.
Here's my advice for you, Troy.
Sure.
You got to stop hanging out with so many ex-Mormons.
I don't hang out with them.
They're a bad influence. They got.
What do you mean?
They got how the kids would say negative vibes.
Did you get upset
They
that
got you
I brought up
they got
Joseph
you
Smith's
focusing
polygamy?
on Joseph Smith. Yeah, he was a polygamist.
He was.
You're making it sound like he was like murdering dudes to take their wives. No, he would just send them on missions before he took their wives.
He would just sort of manipulate them based off of their deep-seated religious beliefs. That's all.
Sounds consensual to me.
Sounds fine.
Sounds like John Dehlin has done much worse.
He would threaten their eternal salvation, which was something they really valued, obviously.
Yeah.
And he was in a position to threaten it. And he threatened it, and then he took the wives.
Hey, it's ancient history.
Listen, it's behind us. We don't
That
do
was
it
during
anymore.
the intense time that you talked about.
Yeah. We change with the times. Guess what? We just shaved an hour off church not that long ago. How awesome is that?
That's chill.
That's friggin' chill.
Less intense.
We got Russell Chill Nelson over here shaving, and then he's like, home teaching? Nah. It's called friggin' ministering now. And guess what? You don't have to friggin' do it anymore.
It's up to you how it gets done.
It's up to you. But guess what? No one's counting and no one's caring.
They're like, just good vibes only.
Good vibes, man.
Take your vitamins.
Yeah, take your friggin' vitamins.
And have good vibes.
And like Nelson's over here just like, man, I don't know. Shave an hour off church, man. I don't know. How much of that do you think is like his wife is just like, finally, we're in charge. This is what's happening. Like 2-hour church. Friggin' no more home teaching. Don't want to do that. Get rid of the
prophet's wife? You mean our local Alberta legend?
Yeah. Get rid of High Priest Quorum. Yeah, I guess she is an Alberta legend.
Yeah.
The real prophet of the church. Let's be real.
Behind every good man
is a good
man.
Wife.
A
good second wife. We'll cut that part out.
Yeah, Troy, how dare you be critical of polygamy? You have 0 wives.
And you had to bring that up,
until you get at least 1.
You had to bring my wife count, my dismal wife count up.
Yeah. It's just like...
you already got 1.
You're just jealous that Joseph Smith had 40.
I am. Damn it, I am.
So, yeah.
Can you imagine the family band you could have with 40 wives? You could have an orchestra. You could have a choir.
You can have an entire little league.
A little,
not a baseball team, but an entire league.
You could have a literal.
You could have an entire religion.
You could have a whole little league of baseball teams, and they could play each other.
Create a caravan and go out west with them.
The Joseph Smith Wives League. The League of Joseph Smith's wives playing baseball. 40. How many teams would that be?
What is it, 8 to a team?
And I'm not saying it's... Listen, it is what it is. Okay? What else do we need to chat about, Lyndon? Anything else?
We got Star Wars, just a little reminder for everyone. My birthday's coming up.
Oh, how old's the big boy going to be?
30-something.
Okay.
I'm in my 30s now.
We don't want to give it away in case there's weirdos listening.
Yeah. But, yeah, we should go shooting on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. I guess I
haven't even seen and handled your new gun.
You'll have to handle it before you leave. But
I'm gonna handle your piece.
Be careful, it goes off. It's got a light trigger.
I bet it does.
Hey.
You're like, yeah, I custom installed it.
Yeah, I did. It's hair trigger. It's very
great follow-up shots.
It does actually shoot quite well. It's an FX9. It's like a 9mm. Now I like to call it a carbine, but I know the internet calls it a carbine. Everything I've seen, carbine.
Yeah.
What are we calling it? A carbine?
You want to call it a carbine?
Carbine. Carbine sounds like a man's weapon.
Carbine.
Carbine sounds like a kitty thing.
It's a pistol carbine.
It's a carbine. Bean.
I think the word bean
Not like carbine.
Carbine. It's like turbine engine.
Well,
turbine.
Just call it the original German word. It's based on a German word.
The Gluckenstaufen.
Try der Carbine.
It's a carbine. Carbinzer. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The Car 98K.
Even the SKS, the K in SKS is the Russian word for
what do we
carbine.
call the Carbinzer? Let's just look it up. Carbinzer. Is it Carbinzer? Probably not. It's like no matches. Okay.
Nice try. Yeah, we gotta go shoot that.
Yeah.
Guns.
It's like it shoots 9mm. It's like a little, but it looks like a cool tack rifle.
It's tactical.
Tactical.
Not only is it tactical, I think it's actually tactical.
I think it is too, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't played with that gun in a while. I need to bust it out
Let's do it right now.
in a safe way.
Safety first.
Safety first, everybody.
We're not going to like LARP around the apartment.
We're not going to clear the apartment. Why would we do that?
Like we're not going to set up like a hostage, like someone's got Grogu.
Yeah.
And we have to like negotiate with them.
And I'm sort of like doing this with it, giving him a chance.
And I got the holographic sight like, don't make me do it.
No, it's
we're not going to do
We're
that.
not going to do that. It's
repeatedly dry fire your guy. We're not like that.
You're going to have to show me how to properly clean a gun too. I don't know if I've been doing this. I mean, we're not going to do it all today. It's cuz it's too I don't like cleaning. I need to figure out some way. We need to discuss this off air or something. But like the cleaning process, I'm like, oh,
I've got
annoying.
I've got some solutions.
Okay.
But we'll talk about that after. Because life's a mission and we're done with this.
Okay. Bye.